that we have people from the Wellcome Trust, Professor Jeremy Farrar, and then very senior people who have joined us from various other countries like US, UK. I've been told that there are other doctors, scientists, academicians, and faculties from universities, and it's a big list of very distinguished people who have joined us in this very important international symposium, which is coming at a time, I think, is the most appropriate time when the whole world is experiencing the COVID pandemic, and there can't be a more apt time of organizing this activity around World Health, this One Health. We already know that 64% of all those infectious diseases that emerged between 1973 and 1994, this is the data that I could have access to, they had etiology which was zoonotic in nature. And then out of the 1,415 infectious diseases that human beings suffer from, 61% are again zoonotic. And then out of the 177 infections which are supposed to be emerging or re-emerging, 73% are again zoonosis. And it has been, India is right now called as one of the 4 global hotspots where there is a increased emergence of, in fact, there is a huge risk for the emergence of infectious zoonotic diseases, drug resistant and foodborne infections, etc. So, and the time that we are witnessing right now, still the most accepted theory is that probably a virus jumped from the animal kingdom to human being, and the COVID virus has caused so much of damage, so much of loss of life, so much of morbidity all over the world. We are still, even after almost 15 months, we are still struggling with COVID, and but the whole virus has once again, although in the last 2 decades, as Dr. Bhargav has mentioned, we could see many diseases which emerged like SARS and MERS and Ebola. We saw Zika and Nipah and many other diseases where there is a link with the animal kingdom also. But this virus, I think COVID, has certainly been an experience, once in a lifetime sort of experience for every person working in the field of medicine, and especially for those who are researchers, who are epidemiologists, pathologists, clinicians. For everyone, this has been a very, very unique experience, and it's really heartening to learn that at this very important time in our nation's history, unfortunately we are suffering, but we are very well conscious of the fact that we all have to be working together. This virus has taught the whole world that if you work together, and within the science also, if everybody is working with a good quality synergy, and within the systems also, if everybody is aligned towards a single goal, then we can certainly fight out many things in the ablest manner. So I am very happy that a lot of national and international people, they have all relevant stakeholders have actually joined today for this international symposium. I wish to congratulate all of you. Friends, you all know that with the increased interaction between humans and animals, whether they are domestic and wild, and then of course influenced by climate change also, human health can't be seen in isolation. And as I said earlier, this present COVID-19 pandemic is more than a reminder of this fact. The present international symposium is focused on the One Health approach. And this One Health approach recognizes that the health of people is closely connected to the health of animals and our shared environment, and a lot of factors are to be understood as shaping the overall health landscape. For example, more people are today in closer and regular contact with wild and domestic animals, both livestock and pets. And this is both a result of human population growth as well as the expansion of human habitation into new geographic areas. There is significant increase in the human-animal interaction at the domestic level, particularly through the adoption of animals as pets. And those who are pet lovers like me, for them the pets are like their own children, including otherwise these non-domesticated species also. Exotic food fetishes in many parts of the world and medicinal beliefs are also driving increased human entry into the animal space in the wild. Close contact with animals and their environments provides more opportunities for diseases to pass between animals and people. We all can appreciate that the